In this video, I'm going to help you decide between how to choose between hiking boots and trail runners for backpacking. This is a really actually complicated choice because you've got two variations of, well, this is what I should traditionally go with and this is what I'm going to go with, versus trail runners, which a lot of long distance hikers have gone to because of the primary reason, weight. So when you're choosing between these two, the traditional wisdom says, I need to get me some pair of hiking boots because I'm going to go backpacking. I'm going to be carrying this 40-pound pack and dome, 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 dome. Totally traditional thinking. Nowadays, people have gone ultra light, like base pack weight of 10 pounds, 9 pounds, which is about, was it about 5-6 kilograms? Super, super light. All of a sudden, a pair of boots that weighs a couple of pounds definitely does not make sense, because the old theory, and that still holds true, is that every pound of weight on your feet equals 5 pounds on your back for the effect of fatigue. Now, just to give you an idea, I'm going to weigh these boots, hold them here. These boots, light hikers, they are Keen waterproof, super love them. One shoe is 1 pound, 3 ounces, or 560 grams. So a pair is just over a kilogram, or 2.5 pounds. That doesn't seem like much, like, yeah, no big deal, that's just what I have to wear. But what about my trail runners? What's the difference here? Factor 1. Let me weigh these up. Hold, okay. There we go, 1 pound, 0.6 ounces, or 472 grams. That is a big, big difference. I know 3 ounces or a couple of dozen grams doesn't seem like a big deal, but believe me, after you've lifted those things several 100,000 times, let's put a 1/4 pound weight on your each foot and then have you walk 20, 30, 40, or 50 miles. Believe me, it is a huge, huge difference. So factor 1 is weight. You can also go with traditional runners, which I will weigh these. I have done this before, not official trail runners. I mean, I've been backpacking since before trail runners actually came to being a thing. So let me weigh these up. Oh, check that out. Glorious. A mere 12 ounces. That's huge, or 360 grams. Now, if you're a weight nut, you're going to skip the trail runners and you're going to go with the regular street runners. Now, the trail runners have a beefier sole, they're a little bit tougher, and they can handle a lot of abuse. But I have gone backpacking with traditional runners and have had great success. So if you really want to go ultralight, these runners are I would say the ultimate. These ASIC, I can't remember what model these are. The gel Kayanos. Love these things. Super, super nice. Now, the next factor that you're going to need to consider is, and stay to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you the number one reason I got away from trail runners. So just stay tuned. But the next factor, that's a key thing, is ankle and foot protection. If you're going to go hard scrambling, crashing through a lot of rocks and shrubs and thorns. I was on Black Rock Pass in, where is it? In Sequoia National Park, and it was 3 foot deep, like, felt like 3 miles, but it was probably more like a mile of thorny bushes that I walked through the whole time. Thank goodness I had boots on me that time, because those thorns were kind of occasionally stabbing into my boot, but every step would have put holes in my feet. That was literal HELL on earth. Whew. So consider that the spiky protection and the rock protection is good, but ankle protection is huge. If you have weak ankles or difficulty with stability in your feet, I would straight away not recommend using the trail runners, because you twist your ankle, you're 20 miles back or 35 kilometers back somewhere. Oh boy, that is not going to be pleasant. Hikers are much better for that if you have a lot of troubles. But if you check out my video link to how to prevent tendonitis and problems in your feet, The number one thing, oh, I can't lift my foot up high enough, is doing alphabets. If you pretend you've got a pencil in your toes or between your toes, and then take your feet and write A, B, C, go through the alphabet. By Z, you think, oh, that's a dumb activity? Give it a try, please. Just pause the video, go try and do the A, B, C alphabet thing, or whatever your alphabet is for my friends in Europe. By Z, or the end of the alphabet, you'll be blown away how on fire your shins and your sides and your ankles are. So if you have weak ankles, there is actually a way to strengthen them, and it's literally doing the A, B, C alphabet thing. Totally works. So that is a consideration too. Now, another thought is if you know you're going to be crashing through brush, maybe you're going to be going through muck, you might want to consider gaiters. Gaiters don't work great on trail runners because they tend not to have a great gap for the foot or the high arch strap versus a boot where you could put this strap right through. So that makes a big, big difference. Also, that's one thing about trail runners versus boots is waterproofing. The nice thing about trail runners, and this is why a lot of long distance hikers have gone to this, is trail runners are super, super breathable. It will keep your feet dry. If you have something like the Moab ventilator, they're really nice. They air out really good, but the huge downside is that fine trail dust will percolate through your shoes and through those ventilated boots, and your feet will turn black. You will get blisters, so you need to wash your feet regularly. Waterproof boots generally don't have that problem. The downside of waterproof boots is your feet will become sweaty, and if you are prone to blisters because of sweat, you need to go with a different sock system. So this is something I always like, waterproof boots, but you got to dry out the liner every day, and it can be an issue. So wet feet from sweating versus in wet conditions, tough call. But weight being such a big factor, long distance hikers tend to put up with this and the side issues of having footwear and all these things happen to them. Now, what I've done, and the biggest issue for me, is that the ankle thing, I'm carrying a 12 to 15 pound pack, going through, was it 7 or 8, 9 kilograms, going through whatever crazy shrubs and whatnot is no big deal. But over time, the arch of my foot actually starts to hurt, because even though I'm using, let's say I'm using the trail runners that don't provide as much support, or my regular runners, they don't provide as much support as a heavier trail runner. But man, after you stepped on the 100,000th spiky rock and your feet are starting to hurt, that's what actually generally drove me back to some sort of light hiker, because it made a big, big difference in my experience of being in the outdoors. So like I promised you at the end of the video, the number one thing that for me was the foot protection, and my feet just hurt over time. That was a huge, huge difference in my experience in being in the outdoors, is the trail runner versus the light hiker. I like the light hiker too. When I was mucking around and I end up in the mud, if I get mud in my runners, man, it's not enjoyable for me. Once I get the mud in here, the light hikers, the waterproof, yeah, it's got a lot of downsides, but if I'm going through the muck, it's not that big a deal for me versus the trail runners or my regular runners. Yeah, these I would have to be really careful about and step around. If you're doing a multi-month backpack and your trade is weight versus, weight or not weight, that you're going to just have to deal with having muck and mud. But if you're going out for the weekend or a couple days, I generally prefer these boots. But if I'm doing some crazy long distance thing, I will prefer this right up to the point, dun, 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 when you step on a rock and you go, ooh, ah, and then you tweak your ankle. I've had that happen to my light hikers, but the light hikers will hold my ankle and stabilize it, versus my shoe, I've gone cranked and just totally eaten it. So for me, The light hikers are super great, but you've got to have a lightweight backpack. Don't go out with a 20 or 30 pound pack or a 12 to 15, 20 kilo backpack, because these hikers will fail you. You're going to have this. So definitely check out Being Into Ultralight Hiking. Ray Jardine's book is the best godfather of He is the godfather of long distance backpacking. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you, of help you how to choose between boots and hikers or light hikers, boots or trail runners for backpacking. My name's Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. Please check out links below to my books, Antarctic Tears, Lost a Windy Corner, Adventure Expedition 1, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, the Jackson Hole Hiking Guide, The Most Crucial Knots to Know, and the 2024 Total Eclipse Guides. Also check out my show, World Beyond, and Antarctic Cheers, links in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your backpacking!